Hey, Disney cruisers, and welcome back to the DCL community where we are here to help you plan, prepare for, and get excited for your Disney cruise. You guys know me. I'm Rebecca, your host and admin of the DCL community. And today, we have such a good one for you. I am so excited. I could scream, but I'm not going to do that because, you don't need my screaming in your ears. But I am so excited. We are talking all things Disney Destiny before even her maiden voyage. I'm so excited. As you're coming in, please say hello. Let us know where you're watching from so we can say hi. And if you have a cruise booked on the Destiny. But as people are coming in, Hunter, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yeah, of course. Hi, guys. My name is Hunter, and I am a travel advisor with Jayco Travel. I have been on 30 Disney cruises across all of the ships in the fleet, and I absolutely love planning and sailing with Disney Cruise Line. I love everything from the crew to the magic that Disney offers, the beach relaxation, and so much more. I have a ton of firsthand knowledge and experience to share with all of you, and then the guests that we book our cruises for.
Yes. When we say that Hunter loves a Disney cruise, Hunter loves a Disney cruise and she's got your back through it all. So if someone's looking to plan a Disney cruise, how should they get in touch with you? What's the best way?
The best way is always email. We're in our inbox all the time. We do offer to text back and forth with our already booked clients. So that is something that a lot of people do appreciate. You can also reach out through my website, Facebook, Instagram, but we're always going to kind of push you to email and have you schedule a call with us because that is the best way for us to get to know you and ask you all the questions about planning your vacation without having a bunch of back and forth through email.
And Hunter knows all the questions to ask to get you to your perfect vacation. And if you don't know this, her planning services are actually free. They're not costing you any more. So you have all of her expertise that you can use to plan the best vacation. And it's not just Disney cruises. You can really get niche down with all the things that you specialize in.
Yeah, so definitely family travel. I do have two kiddos that have been cruising with Disney all of their lives, but I have sailed solo on Disney just with adult friends, with extended family. Also, I have incredible knowledge in allergy friendly travel with my own kiddo, and then also just serving so many clients in the allergy community as well as accessible travel. I've sailed concierge on all of the ships, and I've helped dozens of Disney Cruise Line brides plan their Disney Cruise Line weddings.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. If you are dreaming about a Disney Cruise Line wedding or a castaway wedding, please get in touch with Hunter. She is here to help you. Oh my gosh. And Alaska, I forgot about that one. That one was so cool. That's still
Yes.
bucket list for me.
So I've worked with hundreds of clients with Disney Cruise Line on all the different ships and across different itineraries from Caribbean to Alaska to Mediterranean, Hawaii. So I definitely have all of that experience helping you craft vacations beyond just the typical 3 and 4 night Bahamian adventures that we see. I've explored Disney Cruise Line extensively and know everything from choosing the perfect stateroom to navigating those onboard activities, dining options, third party excursions, and all of those things. I fully believe that every family has their own unique needs, and one's on a vacation, and Disney Cruise Line does not have to be cookie cutter, does not have to be one size fits all.
Yes. Oh, amen. Say it louder for the people in the back. Just because it works for your neighbor or your best friend does not mean it needs to be what works for you. And especially with
Yeah, for sure.
excursions too, every family is so different. So I love that. Yeah. So where to start? If somebody is all in on Disney cruising and wants to get that vacation planned.
Yeah, so the first thing you're going to do is reach out to me via email or schedule a phone call with me. I want you to have already kind of brainstormed the time of year you want to travel for, the wedding or your family travel, and then we'll collaborate together to figure out what one actually works best for you and hone in on the exact dates and itinerary. And then we'll send you a proposal, lock in your stateroom, and let the planning begin.
Oh, best part when you get that bippity boppity booked email. So exciting. And let's talk about the brand new Disney Destiny because she hasn't
Yeah,
even had her maiden voyage yet. So you
I
were on
know.
board already.
Yeah, so I did the first preview event last week, which was also the christening sailing out of Fort Lauderdale. And I don't know if you guys watched that christening event on TV, but it was phenomenal. The music, the drone show, all of it was incredible. So if you haven't watched it and you love like Disney music, characters, look it up on YouTube and watch that christening event. It was awesome.
Agreed.
The theming of the ship is different than any other ship in the fleet, and it is so good. We just kept saying like the whole time, like this ship has a really big draw to families with boys, and I love that so much because so many of the other ships have such a princess presence. Like the second you walk in, and you walk right on the ship and you see Black Panther standing there in the atrium statue, and it was just gorgeous. Um, so the sister ships to the Destiny are the Wish, which came out in 2022, and then the Treasure that started sailing last December. If you do get on board soon, they always have like in the Navigator app where you can do kind of like the behind the scenes tour where they'll walk you around and tell you different things about the ships. And I highly recommend doing that because there's so many thoughtful details that the Imagineers put into this ship. One thing that so many people were talking about is in the atrium or the grand hall rather. It's the colors are inspired by the different tribes of Wakanda. So the River tribe, the royal family, and the Japar tribe, they have different colors, and you see those colors kind of come to life in the grand hall, and that's really neat.
Oh, that is awesome. And I know that there's somebody watching right now that's like, I don't really like Marvel, so am I gonna hate this ship? And what would you say to them, to somebody who's like, I've barely seen a Marvel movie, but that's not gonna stop me from getting on board. So how do you kind of address that with your clients?
Yeah, there's so many different other spaces. You know, you have DeVille's Lounge. You have the Festival of the, the Pride Lands, Festival of the Feast of the Lion King. Um, you've got Hercules. You've got Cask and Cannon, which has like a Pirates of the Caribbean feel. And the stateroom themes are different. You still have everything you love about a Disney cruise, and you're still going to see princesses. You're still going to see, the Fab Five Mickey and characters. But it just brings to life a lot of the Marvel films that so many people do love and enjoy.
Yes, yeah, and somebody's making the point for boys or for girls who love boy things in quotes. And
Yes.
yes, anybody can love any of these things. It's just the colors, and I know when I still haven't sailed on the Treasure, but when I saw all the colors of the Treasure and how like bold that grand hall was, I always want to say atrium. But when I saw that, I was like, I don't know. And I still have to see it come to life. But like as soon as I saw the pictures of the grand hall and the Destiny, I was I was blown away. I thought it was stunning. So
It really is pretty. And, um, on the other ships, there still is a nod to Marvel and Star Wars on
yes.
the other ships. It's just in kind of like a smaller capacity, and they kind of bring out more of the princesses, whereas this just brings out that Marvel nod a little bit more outside of the Marvel restaurant, outside of the kids club, and you do have more Marvel immersive experiences, especially with the storytelling that happens in the Grand Hall with the Gamble and Zaya shows. Um,
Oh,
and those are
okay.
fantastic.
Yes, we're going to need to get more into that. But yes, the staterooms, this artwork in these rooms are just incredible.
Yeah, so the staterooms are going to be the same overall layout as the Wish and Treasure. The only thing that's changing is the soft goods and like the decor. So instead of the previous theming, the new theming on the Disney Destiny is going to be Hercules and um, Mulan. That should not say Pocahontas. It should say Hercules and Mulan, Raya and Brave, Big Hero 6 and The Incredibles, Fantasia, and then the two-bedroom suites are like the royal suites are Hercules and The Incredibles, and Iron Man is the.
Amazing.
Why does that say tyrant? My editing skills from pulling this in from the treasure are clearly terrible tonight. But Iron Man is the tower suite.
Awesome. So good to know. And is this something that you can help people try and figure out like like if my kids really, really love Brave, can you help me choose a
Yeah,
Brave room?
yeah. So we actually there's you you might have seen it floating around, but there are spreadsheets out there that tell you which like decks have what staterooms, and it goes all the way down to the exact stateroom number.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, good for that person. Good for that attention to detail. God bless you. Oh man. Okay, I cannot wait. These blankets alone are just so gosh darn pretty, and the artwork, all the details. There were so many questions about the Pride Lands. Tell me about your thoughts on it, the experience as a whole, the details, everything. I'm set for this one.
Okay. So if you've been on the Wish of the Treasure, or even if you've just read about it, this is in the same space as Arendelle is on the Wish and Coco is on the Treasure. Right out of the gate, I'm going to tell you it's loud. That
Okay.
dining room is so loud because there is live music happening. They do come out on a stage, they are singing, they are dancing, they are playing instruments. It is very loud. So the theming is, or the storytelling of the music in the show, if you will, is telling Simba's years from the time he was a cub to his rise to king. So you're going to hear some of your favorite Lion King songs throughout this show. And it's more just a musical show. You're not getting any characters, anything like that. And then the flavors are from, they're Africa inspired, but there's also so many Disney Cruise Line favorites that they just put a twist on also. Um, so there's still going to be something for everybody to eat. Don't feel like it's just going to be African fare when you go into there. But they do have some neat touches that they added. There's a South African wine flight that I tried. They had a shrimp curry. So they really are trying to bring those cultural experiences into the dining room. The
Wow.
restaurant in the picture, you can see this back wall, and the windows transform into different like stunning sunrises and sunsets throughout the meal. So it may be blue and purple at one point, or it could be like yellow and orange at another point. So you'll see that lighting change within the restaurant.
So
Um,
cool.
Overall, it was a great experience. Definitely very loud for those that have sensory issues, um, just like Arendelle and Coco is.
Okay, I'm glad that you mentioned that because Anna is asking her son does have sensory issues, worried if he'll be overwhelmed here. Would you recommend a certain placement in the dining room, skipping this dining room? How would you go ahead and kind of coach someone through navigating this main dining room?
So we were placed in the back corner, and I still felt it was loud, but nothing compared to being right next to the stage. I think it's something that you just have to test the waters on. And if you have to leave, by all means, like you have to leave. I can tell you, like as an adult, like at the end of the day, I had the 8:15 dinner. My social battery was already dwindling, and I was a little overstimulated. All that noise and then changing of lights is a bit much.
Yeah, I can imagine. And Carly is asking, was it too loud to have conversations? Was the music going the whole time or did it start and stop?
The music starts and stops, and when the music is on, it definitely is. You feel like you're shouting if you're trying to have a conversation. But it
Good
does
to
not
know.
play the entire meal. But I feel like it plays. The one good thing is it does play during, I feel like when you're getting like your entree, so you are eating, you know,
Yeah.
they're not playing it before not really playing before you're getting your food when you are having those conversational times.
Got it. Good to know. And then Lizzie is asking, do they have food for picky eaters in there? Worried about my daughter. She won't eat anything besides chicken tenders. I feel you. I also love chicken tenders. Did they have options for everybody? And I'm assuming there's a kids menu too.
Yeah, so all the restaurants can cater to the kids' needs. So chicken tenders, cheese pizza, those are
Wow.
always going to be available to the kids in every restaurant, even if they're not listed on the menu. They're able to get like the mac and cheese, the cheese pizza, the chicken tenders, and then they do have other options. So they had like a whitefish, they had the salmon, they had I think it was lamb. I can't remember what all was in here, but you can easily look up the menu and find it online before you go. But like I said, there is African inspired dishes, but then there's also stuff that they've just taken a Disney Cruise Line favorite and maybe changed the spicing up on it.
Beautiful. Love that. Okay. What about 1923 and the Marvel dining room?
Yeah, so no real changes here. Groot is still the star of this show in the Marvel restaurant. If you were on the Wish, it was Ant Man and Wasp. with some Spider-Man touches, and then the treasure, they brought out this new Groot show. So that's kind of still the focus here in 19, or I'm sorry, in Marvel. So not really any changes here.
Okay, good to know. And what about the pool decks?
Again, no changes. I did not get a picture of the new cooler. This is the cooler from the treasure, but it is like a tan and like deep red color. Still the same style, just they do have a new cooler for purchase. I know lots of people love to buy those. So yeah, again, no real changes here on the Destiny
Well,
from the Wish and the Treasure.
amazing. And can you confirm characters that were available to meet on board? I'm assuming it wasn't just the villains, it was the
No, so like this picture of me was taken on the Destiny with Donald. So you had like the Fab
lovely.
Five. I saw Belle. I mean, there was heroes and villains, um, but still really everybody that you saw before. If anything, I would say there were fewer. Again, I was on a 3-night sailing and it was a preview, so this isn't. We got to wait until like the
Everything.
actual sailings come out. Um, on my sailing specifically, the princesses weren't as frequent, but that's going to be different on a consumer sailing because you're still going to have royal gathering. Um, and they were really trying to bring focus into the Avengers and the heroes and villains that they did have on board. But the Fab Five was out like crazy.
Yeah, so Disney's not going to do a cruise that doesn't have Mickey Mouse and Goofy and princesses. They're just
Yeah,
not
you're
going to.
still going to have everybody. You just may have more heroes, villains, and Avengers than the other ships.
Yes. Also, that pretzel looks like exactly what I want right now. Where do I find that?
So, Cask and Cannon is where Periscope Pub was on the Treasure, and Keg and Compass was on the Wish. So, this is your typical like sports lounge bar. Um, and this is Pirates of the Caribbean style themed. There was different lanterns from Disneyland Paris. You saw, if you can see in the carpet behind the pretzel, you see like the tentacles.
Yes.
Very heavy and rich on the theming in here. You're gonna have different beers on tap. The signature drink was super cool. Dead Man's Chest. It came out in a big chest that was like had smoke in it, and they opened it, and like the smoke came out, and there's like chocolate coins in there that you could take, and it served for two, and they were actually really good. So this is was a really popular hangout spot in the evening, and of course the theming was meticulously done.
Oh my gosh. There's Disney doesn't skimp on themes, and same goes for the Haunted Mansion parlor.
Yeah, so if you've been on the Treasure, if you've watched the videos, the Haunted Mansion parlor lives on the Disney Destiny. Not a lot of changes in the decor, a few different like cues and noises that you're going to see from the heroes and villains aspect that kind of bring the Haunted Mansion to life. But the core pieces of the decor and the wallpaper and the furnishings, not much noticeable difference. And again, it's dark when you're in here. I never went in for like the preview when it was lit up, but from when I went in, no huge changes. There were some drink menu tweaks, and then they had some different like sippers and stuff available that they did not have on the
Ooh.
Wish that were pretty cool.
Oh
Or I'm sorry,
man.
did not have on the Treasure.
The sippers and popcorn buckets just get people. It's like
They like
Pokemon.
fly
You
off
gotta
the
collect them
shelves.
all.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Oh,
so DeVille's. This is Scat Cat Lounge on the Treasure and Nightingales on the Wish. So it's DeVille's on the Destiny. It is kind of what you want to call your grand hall or atrium bar. They do have an outdoor part like that goes into the grand hall that has the same DeVille's menu, but then there's also the indoor part that's like a closed-in lounge. And clearly, I did not change the verbiage on this because I pulled it in from the Treasure one, so I'm just going to talk you through it. So the menu was fantastic. Like the drinks were really good. The service was spectacular in there. But let me tell you, that space is so small, so small.
yes.
They did a super cool. I don't remember what it was called, but where basically where you it was like treble. I can't remember, but basically you come in there and we got there an hour early. That's how busy it was. And you sing a song, you make a song about Cruella, and then like she comes in and then, like, everybody, like, sings it to her, and it was hysterical. So much fun, but the space is small, so it fills up really fast, and then there's nowhere to go. People are just, like, kinda standing on top of each other. But, of course, as Disney is, everything was over the top themed. The entry into the lounge has custom mosaics on the outside with paw prints, and it says, "How marvelous," like, that's Cruella's, signature saying. So that's really neat. Different things behind the bar, like touches from the movie. All the chairs are like red and white. The piano is like Dalmatian print. So it was a really cool space just to be in as a piano bar. And then, of course, when they were in there playing the piano, that was fantastic.
Yes. Oh, I love that added layer of entertainment. I know Keys on the Magic is, like, one of our favorite
Yes.
spots, but that's one of my big gripes about the Wish class ships is, yes, there's a bunch of spaces, but they're all so small compared to,
Yeah.
like, any of and I mean, the Wish class versus the Magic and Dream class. There's
Hmm.
not enough space in these places for everyone to enjoy, so
No,
Disney.
and they're standing like
Yes.
I don't know what the capacity of that lounge was, but I can tell you that for this specific activity that they had, it was way over capacity. And
Yeah.
we had been sitting there for over an hour just waiting for this because we knew it was gonna be crazy busy, and then people came in and stood right in front of us, so we could not see anything.
Uh,
So, absolutely no space in there. Same thing, Cask and Cannon, people were just standing around, like, literally asking, "Hey, will you let me know when you're gonna leave so, like, I can have this table?" So that's a little frustrating.
yeah, I know. I'm like, "Disney, please make the lounges" like, that's a great spot for people to
Mhm.
socialize, to spend money, so give us more places to sit so we can do just that. Oh, man,
Yeah,
especially
so
in
but there's so
Cruella's
yeah,
or DeVille's.
Cruella's and, yeah, DeVille's and Haunted Mansion were that are gonna be so popular, like, I wish they were a little bit larger. And then the Sanctum is, um I don't have it on here, but the Sanctum is kind of that, like, centerpiece of the ship. It's right across from DeVille's, right behind the Grand Hall, where, like, the Jungle Cruise one themed one was on the Treasure, and then the Bayou was on the Wish, and that's where they had so many trivias, and then they had live music in the evenings, and that bar is always packed. So on the Destiny, the Sanctum is themed for Doctor Strange, and then the space that becomes, like, all the adult-only activities in the evening, that two-story space, which was Luna and Sarabi on the other 2 ships, is
Yes.
called Saga on the Disney Destiny,
Mm,
and I do really actually enjoy that it's 2 stories, and we didn't have any problem getting seats in there for the things we wanted. There was an awesome comedy show in there one night, and it was all themed to kind of a spinoff of Marvel movies, and I like Marvel movies, but I haven't watched all of them in their entirety, but I know the gist of all the characters and their stories, and I laughed so hard, so hard. It was
yay.
hysterical, um, but it was 18 plus, but I wish it could have been, like, teens too, because I know my kid who loves Marvel would have laughed also. So,
Oh,
but
so
the
fun.
Saga it's a really nice space also. So that kinda covers all of the lounges on the Destiny.
Oh gosh, I wish that Disney God, if Disney ever hears this, please, when you have a new ship come out, make it 7 days. You just any new ship, give us full time to love it and experience it and do everything on it, a kid show, an adult show.
Right?
Just let us fully enjoy the ships, and then, then we can phase them down to 4, 3 days. It's just too quick. It's too quick. But I know this is another hot commodity. Everybody is talking about Hercules. So what were your thoughts?
It was incredible. The show was fantastic. They have modernized it some, and there's some new music, but it followed the storyline, and I'm not a huge stage show fanatic. Like, I am a kind of a one and done person. I'll watch them and then I'm good. Like if I'm going back on the Destiny in a couple months, I'm not going to go and watch it again. That's just me personally. But it was very good. The crowd, everybody enjoyed it. The performers were fantastic. The lights, so I can really appreciate the lighting effects because I did stage crew in high school and was up in the light booth. And the lighting effects on the show were phenomenal. Just
Ooh.
everything came together so well. And I love how on the new ships they started using the sides of the
Yes.
stage for lighting effects and special effects to come to life. And it was just everything. So
Oh,
it was really good. Definitely show up a half hour early to get your seats. Like that's needed.
yes. So good to know.
And there are two
And
show times. So if you have late dinner, you're going to go to the show first before dinner at like 6. If you have early dinner at 5:45, you're going to go to the show later at 8:30.
yes. Oh my goodness. I
I
cannot
almost
wait
feel
to
like
see that.
the performers would probably kill me to say this for saying this because they work their butts off, but like I almost feel like they need a matinee showtime for this, like a 2 o'clock
Well, I think they ended up adding one for the treasure from
for
Moana because
Moana.
people were like lining up 10 million hours before. So I
Yep.
don't think that's out of the question. And I mean, listen, they're dang good at their jobs. So if they stunk at them, we would want less show times, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
So
So,
there was just so much about the treasure to like,
yes.
or I'm sorry, about the destiny to love. Um, and there was some other things like I didn't put in here that were really cool. So to not miss, especially for all of like the Disney Cruise Line lovers that are listening. Dr. Facilier's magic show is something that's like highly coveted. Line gets super long, very fast. No photos or videos can be done inside, but that's something that was talked about a lot. The Zaya and Gamble traveling show that happens in the Grand Hall. Don't miss that. They're like pop-ups and they're funny and they're so entertaining and they bring Disney stories to life like in the Grand Hall in a silly way. They also do this on, the treasure. I'm really glad they brought this because it was thoroughly enjoyed. Um, the Oceaneer Club, the inside of it has a lot of the same theming. Outside of it is Sugar Rush hallway theming, like Wreck It Ralph. Like when you slide down the slide and stuff,
So
it's so
cool.
cute. The other shows, or like the other stage show, is Frozen. So if you've been on the Fantasy, you've seen that, and that's really cool. Deck 4, like the cafe is Cafe Megara, so Meg from Hercules, which is super neat. Such beautiful theming. So many just gorgeous things about this ship that they're like,
Yeah.
what's not to love? One thing that's really neat to remember is the forward and aft elevators have different themes. So I'm trying to remember specifically. I think forward was villains and aft was heroes. I might have it mixed up.
That sounds
Or
right.
I think forward was green carpet with villain artwork and aft had blue carpet with hero artwork. So like you knew where you were.
Yes.
It was a bold contrast, but it was very intentional, very cool. Um, Definitely just keep in mind the bars and lounges and shows fill up fast. Um,
Mhm.
Because Disney is getting so many newer ships across the fleet, you're going to see more and more crew with those earning my ears red flags under their badge, like be patient, be kind.
Yes.
But we are seeing a lot more of that because they quickly went from 4 ships to 7 ships. So with that,
Yes.
they've got to bring on more crew.
So true.
Um, the allergy things are still the same protocols. If you need help with allergies, please email me. I have an entire allergy ordering guide. Um, but yeah, I mean, those are kind of like my general thoughts about the
Would you
ship.
go back on the Destiny?
Oh,
Like,
100%.
yes.
Yes, for
Okay.
sure.
Love that. I guess I know we love the other ships in the fleet, right? Like we can't get enough of any Disney cruise
Magic,
ship.
fantasy.
Yes, but And now that you've been on the Wish, the Treasure, and the Destiny, I know many people, myself included, have commented on the flow of the ship and the layout and all the spaces. Do you notice that anymore outside of, the spaces being smaller and a little bit more congested? Is it a deterrent or not really something you notice after the first time you sail on a Wish class ship?
So for those that are coming avid Disney cruisers and they're coming from the Magic and like the Dream class ships, it's annoying because the flow is very different. But like if you're new to Disney Cruise Line and you're going on one of the newer ships, like it's not going to phase you.
Yes.
I know my way around the new Wish class ships now, so like I don't care. Like it doesn't. I'm not one of those people that are going to like harp on that. Like it just doesn't bother me.
Love that.
I don't think it's that big of a deal,
Yes.
truthfully. But I will tell you the Destiny is my favorite of the 3 Wish class ships. Like hands down, like not even there's no competition from the Wish and the Treasure. The Destiny is my favorite.
Okay. I feel like that's
theming
breaking news. Oh my gosh. Okay. I got to get on the
theming is
Destiny, guys.
fantastic.
Yes.
Like I just loved all the spaces.
Oh man. Okay. That sounds like we got to get back on the Destiny then.
And I just think that they're really bringing some new entertainment with this ship. Like I mentioned, the show that they brought into DeVille's with Cruella, the kind of Avengers comedy they did in the adults lounge, the Zaya and Gamble stories. They did a Cruella like fashion show in the Grand Halls. Hysterical. Like I just think that they're really trying to bring new entertainment. And I think that's something that like kind of drew me in.
Yes. I love that they're not just letting the spaces speak for themselves, but they're really letting the theming come to life in the entertainment, which that's what Disney's known for. So it feels like a natural progression for the fleet. And I'm so excited to hopefully have these things continue to come to life. If you are ready to book your Disney cruise, please get in touch with Hunter, whether it's on the Destiny or any of the other ships. I know the Destiny is hot off the press. She is ready to sail. I am so excited to eventually get on the Destiny, but please reach out to Hunter. That is the link to her page on the DCL community site. And she's going to get this posted in the group for everybody as well with the clickable link. So you'll be able to email her too. But Hunter, thank you so much. I know you are literally fresh off the ship. So thank you for spending some time with us and giving us your full review.
Yes, for sure. I will post this in the Disney Cruise Line group and I'm going to update the stuff that needed updated. I just got home last night, so
listen,
trying to crank it out last minute. Nothing like some procrastination over here.
No, you are all good. Thank you so much for sharing all this. And if anybody has any Destiny specific questions, please get in touch with Hunter. She's been on board, so she can help and be that resource for you. So Hunter, thank you again. And we will see all y'all on board real soon. Bye guys.